Being a man has changed from what it was maybe in the 300 centuries ago, and we can't hold on to that. We got to realize when being a man also just recognize your humanity first, and as you recognize your humanity first, you recognize the humanity in your child, you recognize the humanity in your partner.
So knowing what you're saying, mm-hmm. and seeing the gender wars, what do you bring to the table? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts of that? Because we see you as, a respectable elder who can advise. Mm-hmm. When you see these conversations, what do you bring to the table? Indoda must, mm-hmm. all of those conversations.
I think also, and sometimes, now I've always said, Orne, if you say a woman is independent and is more powerful and whatever, now I would say bring her here. Mm. Because I would never be threatened by what you have, by who you are. You know what I mean? And I think what people tend to do, and it says something about the person. If ever you're going to take your job to make you, who are you without your job? Mm. You know what I mean? So other people basically, and not that for me, that's why I think I love acting, because I can be anything, but I know I'm not it.
Yeah.
And then come back and Sello.
Always Sello.
And be Sello.
What do they call you at home? Like, what was your nickname growing up?
I know, man, but you know what? It is terrible in this sense here now.
Why?
To say, because now I'm opening my life. Don't worry, it's
just you and I. No one's listening.
Nah. I've had that experience.
Where people are calling you by your niling punkununu.
But my mother had. I'll recall the mother side. My mother had, when my mother never told me she loves me.
Really?
No. But
there's a generation of black mothers. The way she told you she loves you is by saying Kaukocha.
No. My mother, when she would call me and say, Nzilo, I know. I know, Mama. I know.
You are loved.
I know I'm loved. Even my stepfather. And that's another man. Maake, that man was just something else. Mupediolo.
For those of you watching, I sleep in.
Mupedi. Mupediola man. I can comfortably say I'm what I am because of him. And again, it shows you it doesn't take your blood child to raise them to be something. And I remember him telling me as a maybe 9-year-old, 10-year-old, and he had a few. And, he took it out from my mother, like, Zilo, come here. Sit here. Are, wana manaka. But bana lore. Wana is wagao. Akasibisel. But I want to prove them wrong.
What happened to Papa?
He passed on.
But you got a dad who stepped up.
Oh, no, not. You remember biological?
Yes,
biological. No, he was still alive. I mean, I actually got to interact with him. Actually, even he was also a contributory factor to my changing. Because at one point, one day, because I was staying with him when this whole thing, propensity to being violent, I was staying with him. And one day, he said, he was reprimanding me for something. And I realized that he didn't ask me how I feel about it. And that almost echoed what I was doing to my girlfriend.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. So this maybe temperament, this is where it's coming from. And I asked myself, like, if I'm feeling so bad that he doesn't even ask me, or how do I feel about this? How does my girlfriend feel, Ian? That's also what contributed to my change.